Hey guys, happy Friday the 13th. I've been watching some of the Friday the 13th movies in preparation for a review for these movies. Um, well, before I talk about um, one of the movies, the one I want to review is Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives, which is my personal favorite of the franchise. Well, Uh, First, before I start talking about it, I wanted to talk about my history with this franchise. Um, at first, I was like 10 or 11 when I first watched these movies. Um, I was 10. Then I remember sometimes I would like, as a kid, I would like to watch scary movies with my dad. And uh, when I remember one night going through some of his horror movies, and I found Friday the 13th Part 6, and I was like, Dad, I want to watch this, please, please, please. And he's like, oh, okay, you better not have any nightmares. So we put it in, and, and he pretty much predicted it that I did have nightmares, but I enjoyed the movie still, and I still enjoy it to this day. As for the other movies in this franchise, um, I understand that. I mean, that they're slasher movies, and they're obviously just cash grabs and everything, and that their goal is to like rip off the Halloween franchise. And the Halloween movies, I mean, mostly the first one is it's a horror masterpiece, and it's always been one of my favorite horror movies, and definitely one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. Uh, I would say it is my favorite John Carpenter movie, so I'll scratch that. Um, so the first Friday, um, it's it's okay. Part two, which is actually the first movie in the franchise to feature Jason as the killer. Um, that one's a bit okay as well. Part three, I like that since I was a kid, since that was the first one to have Jason wear his hockey mask. Um, then the final chapter, that's always been one of my favorites as a kid. Part five, I hate that movie. I hate it. Part six, I love it. I mean, that's my favorite in the franchise. Part seven, which is actually the first movie to feature Kane Hodder to play Jason, he's awesome. And again, I mean that one was okay. Part eight, which was trashed by critics. It, I would agree it is a bit bad, though it does have a few good kills. Jason Goes to Hell. As a kid, I didn't mind watching it at all. But as I got older, I'm like, they barely have Jason. I mean, yeah, they do have Jason, but he's like possessing people. I'm like, did they just run out of ideas? Or, I mean, that's so lazy. Uh, and Jason X. Oh, what were they thinking? It's like they almost run out of ideas when it comes to New Line Cinema with this in this franchise. Um, Jason in space. Come on. And Freddy versus Jason. Oh, that was awesome. Oh, yeah. And as for the remake, um, I remember watching that in theaters when I was 11, and as I got older, I think it sucks. I mean, as a kid, I was like, I don't mind it. I mean, it's a Jason movie and everything like that, but in any case, I still hate it, still. Uh, so yeah. this franchise is a bit on the mix. I mean, it has some good, it has some bad, but it does have its moments. As for part 6, this takes the cake. Because this is actually the first in the franchise to, like, well, as the first 5 of the movies in this franchise, they went way too serious with the whole, like, killings and everything like that, and, I mean, but part 6 took a bit more of a comedic turn. Though they did, it does have Jason killing people and everything like that, but, I mean, it's a movie that doesn't take itself completely too seriously. And this one has some of my favorite kills in the franchise, and I like how it starts off with Jason getting resurrected by a bolt of lightning and becomes an unstoppable zombie. It's awesome. And the first kill is him punching through somebody's chest and removing the heart from the other side. And he's holding the heart in his hand. I'm like, wow. And then there's the triple decapitation with a machete, and, like, he grabs somebody's arm and then like, throws him through it and throw them against a tree, and, well, he ends up ripping up that guy's arm. I'm like, good lord, this guy is pretty strong. And he can crush somebody's skull with his bare hands. Just, like, he's crazy strong. And the director wanted, and I think he made a fantastic decision, but, like, not taking the movie completely seriously, as long as he didn't make fun of Jason. I mean, he was like, can I make it a bit more comedic? And Paramount was like, sure, as long as you don't make fun of Jason. And, I mean, of course, you can't make fun of Jason. I mean, he's Jason Voorhees. The acting in this movie was a bit good. The story is somewhat okay. I mean, the characters, I mean, they're, like, dumb as, like, just like most characters in this franchise. Tommy Jarvis has always been one of my favorite characters in this franchise since he's been in the final chapter, A New Beginning, and this one. So, yeah. And like I said, this has some of my favorite kills in this franchise, and it's definitely for my opinion, the best in the franchise. And I love that, I mean, he gets resurrected by a bolt of lightning, and the director of this movie was inspired by the Universal monster movies, particularly Frankenstein, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure the director of this movie pretty much watched Frankenstein before making this movie, and still, I mean, I like the movie, and I mean, this is obviously not a great film. I mean, it's it's a slasher movie, and I don't expect every single Friday the 13th movie to be a masterpiece. I mean, some of them are good, some of them are bad, but still, I mean, part 6 is so good, and it is a guilty pleasure, I have to admit. So, I had to watch this twice today in order to be sure what grade I was going to give it. So, I'm going to give Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives a B+. Like I said, it's not a perfect movie. It does have some good moments. It doesn't take itself too seriously like the first 5 movies did before this one even came out. So, I highly recommend that you watch this if you love this franchise. So, yeah. as for the other Fridays, I'm still watching more so I can figure out which one I want to review next. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing this. So thank you so much for supporting my channel and everything, guys. You are the best. And until next time. uh, Peace.